Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a tier ranking of the best Democrat candidates that have the best shot at winning the presidential election. This is using the 2020 candidates. Some of them I'm just simply not going to do because frankly I just don't know who they are and they are not going to have a shot at winning the election. So I'm just going to move all of the ones that I am not going to be even frankly looking at to the back here. I know that this man ran, I forgot what his name was, but I'm pretty sure he was a mayor. But not too significant either. I'll include John Delaney simply because I guess he's a little bit more prominent. He was in the polls. He did make an impact. Michael Bennet, still U.S. Senator. But yeah, I will use all of these candidates. And I'll even include Tulsi Gabbard for the Democrats, although I don't think she would get much support for Democrats. But anyway, let's right now start off with Michael Bennet. And anyway, I just wanted to make this a more fun video, at least coming out later today. And before I even start with Michael Bennet, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It appears we are about to hit 200 subscribers. We're one subscriber away, so either I suppose we'll hit it today or tomorrow. But thank you guys all so much for subscribing. I do hope to come out with a somewhat special video for the 200 subscriber mark because that is very exciting. And yeah, so if you want to be the 200th subscriber and you're not subscribed yet, then go right ahead and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, now let's get right into this tier ranking. Michael Bennet is probably going to be a D, not particularly charismatic, not particularly, he's liked, he's from Colorado, but doesn't have any national appeal. And kind of was, a bit strange at the debates, didn't really have the best touch on the pulse of the American people, I guess you could say. So yeah, really not much to say about Michael Bennet. Going on to Joe Biden, I will put him in the S tier. I'm not even going to include this S plus tier. It's kind of just extra, so there's no one going to be going in the S plus tier. Joe Biden, obviously superior S tier, if that's what that means, because he did win the 2020 presidential election, so he is one of the most electable candidates. He won the election. Not much more to say about that. He's the incumbent president of the United States. At the moment, he is pretty unpopular. When you look at the approval polls, 38% approve of the president. A new Suffolk poll came out, and then obviously when I went over the Quinnipiac poll from about a month ago, he had a 23% approval among immigration issues, a 30-something% approval in foreign policy, and even a majority of the public disapproved of his handling of the coronavirus. So not too liked at the moment. However, a lot can change in 3 years. He is the incumbent president. He was vice president for 2 years, or not 2 years, for 8 years, and definitely has a very, very good shot at winning again. Cory Booker, I just think he's your average generic candidate, C tier. Kind of doesn't, he has a little bit of charisma. He doesn't really come off as, I would say, real or as, genuine. However, a lot of politicians don't really come off as genuine anymore. You have a few people, I would say Bernie Sanders, Andrew Yang, even Tulsi Gabbard, a few of them, kind of the more people that are out, like not as liked by, I guess, the establishment. Maybe even Elizabeth Warren, Sanders, Gabbard, Yang, people that just, don't fit in, I guess, with the main people. Biden, I wouldn't say he's as genuine as well. But yeah, that comes across with Republicans and Democrats. And Booker's kind of that average, just generic guy from New Jersey, senator. Slightly African-American. He's African-American. I think he's half black. So I guess he could get a somewhat portion of the primary vote with the black population, black voting bloc in the Democrats. I just don't think it'll be that much, and I just don't think that he's not the best with debates either, and he doesn't really have his own significant policy issue that defines him. A lot of the good people did have a significant policy issue that defined him, that defined them at least. Trump with the border wall, Sanders with paying your fair share and whatnot, Andrew Yang with the $1,000 dividend a month, Tulsi Gabbard with leaving, foreign countries and ending foreign wars. So a lot of those people, I guess, not that did as good, but have come across more, I don't know if you'd say genuine. I guess you could say genuine, could say more real, were people that, really subscribe to specific policies that they really intended to run on. Booker, kind of just the generic guy. Really the same with Pete Buttigieg. However, I put him in a B because I think he's a bit more charismatic and I think he'll do better at debates. He is an intelligent guy, he is an intelligent guy. He's an educated guy. He's very well versed with facts, statistics, whatnot, kind of like the Democrats, Ben Shapiro, if you even want to call it that. And he has that appeal, definitely well versed, and could defeat any Republican really in a debate. But we we get to see anyway. Julian Castro, I'll put him as a C. I don't really think he has that much going for him. He's kind of an empty. He's kind of an empty suit in my mind. He kind of doesn't really. I mean, he was the. I think he was the. If I'm not, he was one of the cabinet secretaries on Barack Obama. I'm not going to name any of them because I don't know which one it was. But yeah, I just think he's more of an empty suit, similar to Booker. Doesn't he's I mean, he's not really. I mean, he kind of has that appeal, Hispanic appeal, but didn't really gain much traction in the Democrat primary. Certainly didn't gain any traction for president in 2020, and probably wouldn't do as well. I don't think he's that good of a debater. And if Trump was not running in 2024, and if it's a different Republican, I do think those debates do matter, and I really focus on those debates a lot. I do think they have a significant impact on how a lot of the independents vote, which ends up really determining the outcome of elections, presidential elections especially. And I don't know how well he would do against somebody, really any Republican, like Ron DeSantis, like Ted Cruz, even Josh Hawley, Rand Paul. I mean, we don't really know who's going to be running yet, but I don't know how well he would do against them. John Delaney, D, just another generic guy. He's not too much going for him at all. Just regular guy from Maryland, so not really much I can say about him. Tulsi Gabbard with presidential prospects. I'll put her. I'll put her at a B. I do think she actually has. If she were to become the nominee for the Democrats, I think she could get a lot of independents to vote for. She's obviously known as a Democrat that is not as to the left as somebody like Bernie Sanders or Warren or Kamala Harris or really any of them, even Pete Buttigieg. She's definitely somebody who's willing to work with Republicans. As we saw, she did not even vote for Donald Trump to be impeached back in the impeachment trial with the quid pro quo, him calling up, I believe, the Ukrainian president and whatever was alleged. But she didn't vote for that. She abstained. She voted present. So yeah, I think that she could get a lot of those independent votes, but it's going to be very hard for her to win a Democrat nomination. The circumstances would have to align perfectly for her for that to happen, and I just don't think that would. I'll put her in B, the back of B. People to judge in front of Gabbard, but I do think she would have a good shot at winning an election. Kirsten Sinema, I'll put at F. I don't think that she has. Actually, I'll also put John. Yeah, I'll put John Delaney at D. Kirsten Sinema, I don't think that she, in any way, has any prospects or any chances of winning the presidency. She's not the best debater. She's obviously had a lot of not a gaffes, but kind of like weird moments, as we saw with that video where that person went to get ranch dressing or whatnot at a campaign event, and it's just very strange. I don't really know how much support she would get. She's not as I don't know if you want to say establishmentarian or professional, I guess, as other candidates have been in the past. I guess Trump hasn't either, so you can't really say much to that. But even somebody like Biden or Obama or Bush, not that type. And I don't think she has. She has some charisma, but really not enough to win a nomination. Kamala Harris, I'll put her at a. Actually, to win the presidency, I'll put her at a C. I don't think she's the best candidate for the Democrats. She has a 28% approval rating with the American people as vice president. She definitely comes across. It appears not liked at all. 10 points lower than Joe Biden. She's the vice president, but that could help her win a Democrat nomination. But with presidential prospects, I just don't see it happening. Obviously, being the Democrat nominee and being the Democrat vice president will increase turnout. But I just don't know how well if that will even do much for her come 2024. Anyway, spot A, I'll give Amy Klobuchar an A position to be elected president. I think that Amy Klobuchar comes across moderate. As a female, she could get a lot of the female support in the election. And she does poll really well. She's from a Rust Belt state. She's from Minnesota. She could not easily, but she could have a really good shot at winning states like Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania, and even states like Iowa and Ohio. She would slightly make even more competitive. So Amy Klobuchar, I do think she's a fairly good candidate, but I just don't know how well she would have a shot at winning the Democrat nomination. Beto O'Rourke, I'll give him another C category. I just don't think he's kind of like he is definitely a charismatic person. I don't know how well he comes across in the sense that he's as educated or as versed on subjects. He's kind of more of the pathos, like if you want to use the Greek words, pathos, emotional, in the way that he campaigns. Very, very emotional. And that does help. That does get a lot of support. But I just don't know how well he could logically explain a Democrat platform at a debate. And that's no attack against his intelligence. That's just the way that he campaigns. And I don't know how that will support him. And he's from Texas, so he could win. He could have a shot of winning in the South, Texas. But he has lost. He lost the Senate race against Ted Cruz. And if he does run for governor against Greg Abbott, I think he'll lose, or he'll be then a two-time loser. I don't know how well he would bode in a 2024 presidential election after 2 times of loss. Bernie Sanders, I think he's a B candidate. I think that he has a really good shot. He actually, comes in cross of a socialist. I don't know how much of the independent support he would, but he would definitely drive up turnout among millennials and Gen Z, who a lot of the Gen Z would be able to vote by that 2024 election. Has a significant amount of their support. A lot of people like him in the millennials, Gen Z category. And I do think that he would drive up turnout. And those are groups that tend to actually not vote as much. I'm actually going to put them to the front of the B. That they vote significantly less than people like Generation X, baby boomers, and the generation before that. I forget what it's. I think it's the forgotten generation is what it's called. But if he were to run, I think in a presidential election, head to head, he actually would get a significant amount of the turnout among those groups, and that could propel him to a victory. Actually, so I don't think you should underestimate Bernie Sanders. I actually think he's a very he actually has a very good standing in shots of winning. Eric Swalwell F. I don't think there's much to be said. It's Eric Swalwell. He doesn't have any charisma. He's from California, so I don't think he would get any support among the American people. Elizabeth Warren, I'll give her a D. I think she's from the Northeast coast that really ticks off in my mind. That doesn't a lot of people from the Northeast in the Rust Belt, in the rural areas, aren't really as supportive of Elizabeth Warren. Also, after that whole DNA debacle where she wanted to get herself tested because Donald Trump said that she wasn't Native American, and then she got herself tested and it kind of proved that she wasn't Native American, so that didn't really help her credibility, and I don't think she comes off cross to appealing, and a lot of the Bernie pros are upset with her for the fact that a lot of people think that she took the nomination from Bernie for staying in the race when essentially Pete Buttigieg, Klobuchar, O'Rourke all dropped out for Joe Biden, propelling him to the nomination after that South Carolina victory. Andrew Yang, I'll give him a B. I think Andrew Yang has a good shot. Not the best. He's not even a Democrat anymore, so it'd be weird to put him in a actually I'm gonna move Bernie to A. I think that Bernie actually is a pretty good shot. But Yang, B. He's not a Democrat anymore, like I said, but maybe I think he could turn on. He could have a great support, not a great support, but a larger support among independents. And maybe that could help him, win a race. But that's yet to be seen, of course. And we'll see what happens. Lost the 2020 primary. That doesn't help his case. And then lost the New York mayoral election. Came in 4th place. So I don't know how well he is at running campaigns. But I do think he could get some independent support. But I don't know how well his voter base turns out either. But anyway, that's my list of 2024 candidates for the Democrats. The best ones to the worst. Joe Biden, Klobuchar, Bernie at the most of the top, and Gillibrand, Swalwell, John Delaney, Elizabeth Warren, Michael Bennet. I'll put Elizabeth Warren up here at the bottom. So anyway, with that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Comment below if you think I should move somebody or add somebody to a different column. Like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel as we approach 200 subscribers. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.